Today we are going to be out here with the X33C, the folding drone from Songyang Toys, and this was sent to me courtesy of GearBest.com. Thanks to GearBest for sending me this one for review. Let's get it in the air and check it out. So one of the things I imagine people will be interested in this particular quad is that it folds nice and compact, and you can take the landing legs and the camera and everything off, and it's really small. But is it really going to rival, say, like a DJI Mavic or something like that? Probably not, because this still does have a transmitter that you're going to have to transport. So if you want to just stuff this in a bag or something, you're also going to have to lug the transmitter along too, so keep that in mind. And let's just set the transmitter down here, and I'm going to unfold the legs. And the way this one works is it has these little buttons right here, and you just kind of push them down to unlock them, and it'll fold out like so. So there you have the scaled down design, no landing legs, no camera, and I'm going to show you guys a video of me flying it in this form. It actually flies extremely well. I was pretty impressed with how maneuverable this one is. One thing to note while I'm thinking about it here is these little mock prop nuts, they don't actually perform any sort of function, they're just decorative. These, I've lost a couple of these, so keep that in mind. They do give you a couple extra ones, so that is nice, but those do tend to fall off. And while we're talking about props, they are clearly labeled A and B, so the corresponding props are going to be easy to install. But one big downer on the props is you only get 2 spares. So that's definitely not the best. I mean, that's pretty much inexcusable in my opinion. You should always get a full set of props. It does come with the prop guards, and let's see, these little things in here, I'm not exactly sure what they were. Didn't really have any sort of use for them. So let's, they're not important. Let's not even think about it. So you also get your USB charger with a JST plug, and you will get a camera reminiscent of a unique style camera, and you get your landing legs. So why don't we get this guy together. I'm going to put the legs on here. Pretty simple process. Just slide in. So that is very easy. And you got your camera. I'm actually going to, I think, install the battery first. Battery door comes off pretty easy. And the way this works is there's a little plug in the battery bay, and you're going to want to plug that in, obviously. So that plugs in there like so. And now I'm going to take the battery. This battery is a 800 milliamp hour 1-cell battery with a JST connector, and it plugs in this connector port right here. Is a little bit tedious to kind of get it in there, and you may have some batteries lying around that'll fit that, but it is somewhat of a narrow design. So here I am, and the way it works is the cord kind of hangs out the side there, and then you push it in until it snaps. I believe it came with a screw, but I elected not to reattach the screw because kind of a pain. So then your camera is just gonna slide in like so. There's a little lip under here you got to catch to hold it in place. So there we go, we are attached, and it is adjustable depending on what you want to do. I'm going to leave it basically pointed straight forward, and so there you are, your quadcopter fully assembled with the landing legs and the camera. It is a nice looking quad. It kind of resembles one of the unique quads, so I definitely like the design. And the transmitter, my directions have fallen on the ground, so let's pick those up, because this one has a little bit of a confusing scheme to it as far as the directions go. So standard transmitter, it does have altitude hold, so this is spring loaded right here, and so is this one. And upper left here, you push it. A short push is going to be your rates. A longer push is going to turn the LEDs on and off, and it has these nice little LEDs underneath the props here. And let's see, this right bumper button is going to be your flip, and then you give it input which way you want it to flip and whatnot. Then this buttons here are going to be camera functions if you have the camera version, but this is the Wi-Fi version, so on this one, non-functioning. These buttons here are not trim buttons. This one here is the auto takeoff and auto landing, and then this one here, you push them down, this is going to be auto takeoff, this one is going to be headless mode, and somehow I always end up hitting this button and end up in headless mode, and I get all confused because I hate headless mode, as you guys know. And then the rest of these buttons are going to be trim buttons. So there you go, overview on the quad and the transmitter. I'm going to throw everything in my nice little shoebox here so we don't lose anything. And what I'm going to do here, it does have an on-off switch. So I'm going to turn the transmitter on, turn the quad on, set it down on my landing pad, and then you give it the up-down on the stick, and it is going to bind for you. So then I'm going to go into the app, and you get a message. I have connected to this previously, so it connected automatically, and the app here is called JUFO, and it's pretty standard app as far as these Wi-Fi quads go. Inside the app, you're going to have a camera button, and I just took a picture there. Did not mean to do that, but hey, that works. Cool. Right next to it is your video button, and then your review button. That's going to take you to the gallery, whether you want to review pictures or photo. Your rates button, your hourglass thing is, I believe you fly that with the, I can't remember what that does. I don't fly these too often with the apps. The one that looks like a top seems to be non-functioning with this particular quad, and then this on-off thing is going to be your sticks. But I believe you can fly this one with the app. I am not going to do that here today. So let's record our video, and you get a message, video started recording. I'm going to use this button right here to auto take off, and there we go. Immediately going to the right. Let's see if it's, I think we got to trim it out. It wants to go that way. So I'm going to trim it out a little bit. Still wants to go that way. I'm going to try to recalibrate. So I hit the auto land button here, and now I'm just going to kind of guide it back to the landing pad. And there we go. And let's see if we can figure out how to recalibrate this one. I'm going to go both sticks down and to the left. Maybe down and out. There we go. Beeps. So both sticks down and out is going to be your recalibrate button. And let me hit this button. There we go. So your trim buttons are going to give you a long beep when they're when they're in the center. So there we go. Let's go up, and I believe that's just the wind pushing it forward there, and we're not drifting left anymore, so that's a good sign. Wind is coming from my back, pushing into it. We are in the low rate here. And one thing I will say about this quad is the video is not great at all. You get a lot of jello. There's always room for jello, but not necessarily when you're flying quads, and not what you want to see. So this is a low rate. I'm going to push that button. The altitude hold seems to be getting confused here. Let me try. There we go. Now we're in the upper rate there, which is where I wanted to be. The wind is still pushing it just slightly back. Uh-oh. Did I hit the, I think I hit the, when my phone tilted forward, I think I killed my video feed. So we'll start that again, and we'll just fly around the park a little bit here with the X33C from Songyang Toys, sent to me courtesy of GearBest.com. One thing about this quad is I really like the way it flies. The video on it is pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I believe this is intended to be a camera quad, so that's definitely disappointing. Gets a lot of jello, and a lot of people will like to talk to you about how you can alleviate the jello effects in your quads and stuff like that. But to me, if you're gonna be selling a camera quad, you need to be selling something that has the props balanced and has no jello in your video. So I realize there are things you could probably stabilize the camera a little bit better. It probably jiggles around a little bit, and that adds to it. And then the size of these props, and the props probably aren't completely balanced, but guess what? They should be. If you're gonna be selling camera quads and whatnot, you should get good video. And I realize it's just a toy quad. I think it comes in around 50 bucks. But, you know, I've had other quads that are around 50 bucks that are camera quads that are really good. You know, you get a lot of pretty good video. And we don't have a whole lot of wind out here today, so shouldn't be getting a lot of jello. It's just that this camera, the way it's designed, it seems to get a lot of jello. So that's unfortunate. But it is nice that you can link it up to your phone or your smart device or whatever. So right now I can see that I'm shooting the gazebo. You guys probably recognize this gazebo. Turns up in a lot of my videos. And I'm gonna bring it in, get a nice shot of it in the air. And there we are. Hello, hello, hello. It does fly nice, I will say that about it. But the video on it really jello filled. So let's show you some flips. So there's a roll, a little bit of a slow recovery with the camera on there. That one wasn't too bad. It seems to backflip pretty well. Backflip with the camera is pretty good. Let's do a right roll and left roll. So not too bad. It seems to recover pretty well. I think I had some wind going on those first few ones, and that's why it wasn't recovering so well. But honestly, I really like the way this one flies without the camera and the landing legs. It flies real sporty, and you can kind of really rip it through the park or the field or wherever you are. So realize that's not what this one is intended for, but you can do it with it. So I'm gonna stop my video here and bring it in, and this one will funnel. Maybe not super great with the camera attached to it, but as I said, I am going to show you guys a video of this one flying it without. And it's not bad, it flies pretty good. I mean, that's a decent funnel, getting pushed around a little bit by the wind. Go the other way. And you know, it's not terrible, it's pretty good. And it seems pretty reliable. It does what you tell it to. Responsive, flies fairly sporty. I mean, it's not going to win any races or anything like that, but it can get moving. So there we go. And I'm getting around 6-minute flights out of this guy, depending on how hard you're flying it and whether you're running the camera or not. Obviously, you're going to get a slightly longer flight time if you take the camera and the legs off. But today we're out here flying it with it, so I'll put it up on the bottom of the screen, the exact flight time of this. And we must be on LVC here because I cannot flip it anymore. Let's see if we can actually see. In the bright sunlight, I cannot see the LEDs, but they must be flashing because these LEDs here underneath the props, they do flash when you hit LVC warning. And you get a nice long LVC. So, and I believe that's going to be our flight time, and we flipped over. So, did not get to utilize my landing pad for the landing, but we did take off with it. So there you go, guys, the folding drone, the X33C from Songyang Toys. Pretty good flyer. I like the way it flies. I do not like the camera on it. Definitely could make a lot of improvements to this camera, but quite honestly, a lot of these Wi-Fi quads don't have great video anyway, so Wouldn't expect it to have the greatest video, but I would at least expect it to not have as bad a jello wobble as it does. You definitely don't want to see the jello in your video, so I wish the manufacturers would get that sorted out. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with a sporty flight of this one without the landing legs and the camera. Flies really well in that form, so if you're interested, definitely check it out. I'll have a link in the description where you can pick this one up. Want to say thanks again to Gear Pest for sending me this one for review, and we'll see you guys in the next video.